couple months ago, I tested the 2021 Kia Sorento, and surprisingly, I really loved it, which is weird for me since I don't usually like three-row SUVs. That one didn't quite have enough to win me over, but this 2022 Kia Sorento plug-in hybrid just might have what it takes. Maybe. Let's take a closer look. First of all, I love how the Sorento drives. It's smooth and comfortable, and though it's a three-row SUV, it doesn't feel as large. I can appreciate that because if I wanted something large, I would probably just get a minivan because let's face it, no amount of added height or width in large SUVs seems to provide much more cargo space than this. And in this one, it's got 357 liters behind the third row, which is pretty small, but this SUV does make up for it in other ways. The 50-50 folding seats in the third row made it really simple for me to travel with all three kids, 2 in the second row and 1 in the back, which also meant I could quickly fold down one of the third row seats to gain that extra and much needed cargo space. The downside is that the other half isn't as quickly folded, unless I want to frequently remove my car seat, which I do not. A larger trunk is just simpler in general, but we can work with what we've got. Plus, for a mid-size SUV, it's got quite a bit of legroom in both the second and third rows. At least it does for kids. I know many car manufacturers have tried to make family-friendly vehicles, taking into account busy parents and their crazy kids. However, and while I do appreciate Kia trying to make things easier for me, this button on the side isn't all that great. While taking my kid out of the car one day, her massive snow boot hit the button, causing the seat to fly forward. I like simple and efficient, but maybe this button is a little too efficient. Besides, there's a button on top of the seat that does the exact same thing. Maybe this one isn't so necessary. Speaking of efficiency, I think PHEVs are an awesome way to slowly step into the electric market without doing a deep dive into the vast journey that generally leads to a search for EV charging stations. As always, if you're doing a lot of long-distance driving, a PHEV may not be your best option unless you're willing to recharge every 51 kilometers, which is the approximate driving range you'll get on the full electric mode. That's also assuming and very much hoping that you end up at a station with a working EV charger. Not to mention taking into account the possible chaos coming from inside this family car. I know I wouldn't want to stop for any longer than a fuel fill-up if I've got all three kids in the car. If you're looking to save money on gas, this is definitely an option, especially if you're only doing short drives to schools or grocery store ones, or if you work close to home. You could probably manage to go months without spending money on fuel. But if you do happen to forget to recharge it for a couple nights, and don't act like it won't happen, the combined fuel economy rating for electric and gas combined is 4.5 liters per 100 kilometers, which is still a lot lower than other SUVs. In this top SX trim, seen here in snow white pearl paint that costs an extra $250, there are loads of safety features and driver's aids. My favorite is still the blind spot monitors that pop up when you flick your signal on, but I also appreciate the rear occupant alert that many cars are starting to incorporate. We often use the child safety rear door locks, and I can't imagine why it wouldn't be standard on all trims, but it is available on the SX. Also available in this top trim is the handy head-up display, as well as the Bose premium sound system, because I always enjoy listening to Disney songs in high quality. The Sorento PHEV starts just under $45,000, but the SX trim jumps up to $55 grand. If you can live without a Bose system, the HUD, and ventilated front seats, I'd stick with the lower trim, otherwise you're inching closer to premium price tags without the premium perks. I'm still on the fence about this HEV. As a driver, I love it and could totally see myself driving around in this car. It's got great fuel ratings, it drives smoothly, it's fairly affordable, and it's really comfortable. However, as a parent of 3 little kids, I still think three-row SUVs aren't the best option for my family. At least not while I've got so many car seats in use and need the trunk space to fit a stroller and groceries on any given day. That being said, I do think this is a great family car, and I would definitely recommend adding it to your shortlist, but I think it's important to make time to do a test drive, and also make sure to test other routine specifics and not just the drive. For example, ensure your phone fits into the small wireless charging area, and also test out the third row's leg space where my 7-year-old can comfortably sit with her feet touching the ground. Neither of those things are horrible, but it could be a make or break option for your preferred vehicle. Unfortunately, with so many similarly priced plug-in hybrid SUVs, sometimes it's hard to stand apart, but hopefully you'll be just as pleasantly surprised by the 2022 Kia Sorento plug-in hybrid as I was. For Driving.ca, I'm Renita Narayan. For more SUV reviews and news, check us out on Twitter and Instagram.